Hello, I'm Bob Schieffer, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online edition. Just ahead, responding to his critics, President Bush accuses Democrats of trying to rewrite the history of how the Iraq War began. John Roberts has the story. Also, home heating alternatives. We have some money-saving ideas in our consumer alert. And we have the story of a father's touching tribute to his fallen son. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online edition. The way that President Bush told it today, critics of his war policy are trying to rewrite history, and the result, he said, is undercutting American troops in Iraq. The president and his top people used Veterans Day ceremonies to lay out his most forceful defense yet of the reasons for going to war. The president was in Pennsylvania, Vice President Cheney at Arlington National Cemetery, and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice on a surprise visit to Baghdad. We're going to start with the president. Here's White House correspondent John Roberts.
It might have been a holiday, but President Bush was firing on all cylinders with an impassioned defense of the war in Iraq.
Evil men obsessed with ambition and unburdened by conscience must be taken very seriously, and we must stop them before their crimes can multiply.
The president also had harsh words for Democrats and their renewed charges that he misled the nation to war by manipulating intelligence.
While it's perfectly legitimate to criticize my decision or the conduct of the war, it is deeply irresponsible to rewrite the history of how that war began.
I now move that the Senate go into closed session.
Democrats started the fight 2 weeks ago, forcing the Senate into closed session until Republicans made good on a promise to look into whether the White House hyped the case against Iraq. And they keep trying to turn up the heat on President Bush.
He can say whatever he wants to say, but it doesn't get away from the facts that this administration used the words mushroom cloud, imminent threat, al-Qaeda connection.
The White House proclaims innocence. Indeed, an investigation found no evidence of political pressure to influence the intelligence community's pre-war assessments of Iraq's weapons programs. But investigators were not allowed to look into how the White House used the intelligence. And while spy agencies agreed that Iraq had chemical and biological weapons, they disagreed over Saddam's nuclear capabilities. The political pushback at a Veterans Day event was unusual, but it shows how much is at stake for President Bush. The CIA leak investigation has deeply wounded his credibility. An Associated Press poll out today found nearly 6 in 10 Americans don't think he's honest. Democrats are hoping to convert that into election year gains, asking, was he honest in taking the nation to war?
With an election year looming, President Bush is desperate to turn around those falling poll numbers to eliminate any potential drag on Republican fortunes. But with some Republicans also insisting they know the full story on intelligence, this issue won't go away with a single speech. Bob?
You know, John, for a while there today, it was almost like we were back in last year's campaigns, what we heard from the president, and some really tough things coming from the Democrats as well.
Bob, I felt like I was caught in a time warp today. He talked about his opponent, pointing to John Kerry, and he pulled a page out of the Karl Rove playbook, campaign playbook, that when somebody says something bad about you, you hit them with as much as you've got. For example, as soon as Kennedy came out with his statement, the White House fired off this email to everybody in the White House press corps saying that Kennedy was sending the wrong signal to U.S. troops and the enemy at a time of war. Bob?
All right. Well, thank you very much, John. All over America, homeowners are looking for ways to beat the high cost of energy. Mika Brzezinski tonight with our Consumer Alert.
Home heating oil is at record highs. Natural gas and electric through the roof. But some people will be saving money on heat this winter, heating their homes with biofuels. And the savings are huge.
We're probably saving this year probably about $1,500.
And even more next year because of this. Not a wood stove, but a $2,100 wood pellet stove. Big difference.
It looks like guinea pig food.
We've had a lot of comments as to what this looks like.
And unlike old wood stoves, you don't have to feed the fire every few hours. A bag of these will heat a small home all day. A renewable fuel source that could save a third to half on what you spend on oil or natural gas.
Well, all of our dealers are knocking on our door to get more and more and more.
Steve Walker plants are churning out 200 tons of pellets a day, 7 days a week. turning sawdust into gold dust. This is the raw material used to make the wood pellets. It's essentially junk from local wood companies and sawmills, and it would usually go straight to the landfill. This is the kind of stuff that people used to pay to get rid of. Until now.
Yeah, this is all the waste as we bring it in.
And you pay for this?
We do pay for this. We used to get it for nothing, but that's changed quite a bit lately.
Yeah. What's that saying? One man's trash is another man's
treasure.
Treasure!
How many homes can you heat? Mike Devine has found his own biofuel treasure in amber fields of soybeans.
It's yellow.
His processed soybean oil,
that's biodiesel,
blended with regular heating oil, can go straight into a regular furnace.
So we have a product that's burning better for the environment. Secondly, this is a product that's being produced domestically. It's being grown in the American heartland.
Devine expects sales to be up 500% over last year.
She would love it.
Robin and Randy Bonist are true believers.
I just love the idea that in the end we'll be saving money and using this fuel.
No more sweaters in this room? I hope not.
Pauline Forrest is just happy the coldest room of her house is now cozy, heated by pellets and burning less oil.
Wow, it's really warm in here already.
Mika Brzezinski, CBS News, Temple, New Hampshire.
And finally, tonight on this Veterans Day, America honored the men and women who have served this country in uniform, including the many who lost their lives. There were memorial services in every state in the Union, and in suburban New York, a father honored his fallen son in a special way. Here's Byron Pitt.
Robert Osceola lost an eye and a leg to diabetes, so he took up piano to simply pass the time. But there are some losses in certain kinds of pain.
His dreams was to go into the Army and then become a teacher.
That a hobby can heal. Because there's nothing simple about losing a son.
We'll be together soon enough. I look forward to that then.
So every chance he gets, Robert Osceola sits and talks to, and whenever someone will listen, talks about his son, the soldier.
They said he got the Bronze Star for standing there until every shot was fired out of his box of ammo, and then he collapsed and he died on the way to the ship, battleship.
He stood his ground.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect anything less of him.
You are very proud of your son.
Oh, I am so proud of him. It's unbelievable. I look up to him. The kids could look up to their father, but I look up to Michael.
He's your hero.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Killed last February in Iraq, Army Private First Class Michael Osceola was awarded the Purple Heart and Bronze Star. He was buried at Arlington National Cemetery with full military honors. But with his disability, Robert can't easily go back to Arlington. So he had an idea. Okay. Build it, and they will come. And today they did. A monument in his backyard. A bronze plaque on a 4-foot stone in honor of Robert's son and the other sons of Westchester County, New York, killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. Yolanda Cummings' son is one of them. Private First Class Kevin Cummings.
I think reminders like that are good because you would always look and think he was a soldier, a son.
Robert Osceola says it's wonderful to have his child home again.
Now I'll have my place to come and talk to my boy.
And all are welcome here, where every day is Veterans Day, but without the fanfare, just a father and his son. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Elmsford, New York.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. Starting Monday, we're setting out on another of our cross-country road trips. This time, we'll look at the far-reaching implications of one of the greatest health problems in America, obesity. For CBSNews.com, I'm Bob Schieffer.